Floridians' right to put issues on the ballot for a vote could be stripped away depending on the outcome of a federal trial that started today.
Florida's new restrictions on citizen initiatives are being challenged as unconstitutional, especially after not a single citizen-led ballot measure made it to voters this year. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Cody Butler has the story.
Florida Decides Healthcare is asking a federal judge to throw out sweeping changes to ballot initiatives that were enacted last year.
There is a lot riding on the results of this case.
Last year, just as Florida Decides Healthcare was collecting signatures to expand Medicaid, the legislature passed sweeping reforms to the entire ballot initiative process. The new law changed a lot, including requiring petition circulators to be registered Florida voters, shortening the deadline to turn in petitions, and demanding financial impact statements on each petition.
The legislature has to do something unconstitutional. This wasn't an attempt to make citizen-led ballot initiatives harder. It attempted to make them impossible.
Emerson says the impact was immediate and devastating for their 2026 campaign.
They are absolutely just closing the door on our ability to communicate with the voters that we need to in a way that will effectively collect these petitions.
The numbers tell the story. For the first time in years, not a single citizen-led initiative made it on this year's ballot. A result, Emerson argues, proves the law is unconstitutional.
Their intent from the beginning was to restrict our ability to have citizen-led ballot initiatives, which are a right both on the U.S. Constitution and the Florida Constitution.
The state declined to comment on the law or the ongoing federal trial, but Florida Decides Healthcare isn't giving up. They've already relaunched their campaign for 2028 and are taking steps to restart the petition process, with everything depending upon how the judge rules.
How we will move forward depends on the outcome of this trial. You know, we have relaunched. We're trying to take steps to start the petition process under these constraints.
This trial is expected to go through next week. In Tallahassee, I'm Cody Butler reporting.